Welcome back. It's the main event. It's Dale Hellestray. Steve had to step out of the room for a minute, take care of some personal business, and instead we bring in the esteemed member of our group. Comes in most Tuesdays when he's not cruising or out of town. And
speaking of out of town, pal, look. Last I saw, you were out of town last week. I sat in your chair last week. Pal,
yes.
So let's get that straight.
And you probably felt pretty comfortable over here. A lot of room to spread out. But he is the one and only Bruce Cooper, formerly of Channel 12, still a local sports legend and doing a lot of things around the valley. Last week, Coop, you might have get a kick out of this. So I coached at Scottsdale Christian Academy for about 20 years.
Okay. And let me ask you a question. Did you guys ever win when you coached? A championship?
We won 2 state championships my last 2 years.
Rats.
Yeah. my last, I retired with the state championship. You know this because I know you've talked to the big guy, Brad Sesmat. It's tough on my body to stand out in September and August for 3 hours on the practice field. And I just said, you know what? It's 110 degrees out. I'm 63 years old. I've had a nice run. And anyway, a kid that I coached probably now, at least 10 years ago, got married last weekend.
Okay.
Over in California, and got invited to the wedding.
Oh.
So that's pretty. It's pretty cool.
I'll let you off the hook on that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you still have relationships with kids that you coached, and him and I were talking. His dad was there, and I said, the first time I met you, you were sophomore in high school, and just a snotty-nosed little brat. He ended up being my first all-state offensive lineman, but when I first met him, I'm like, if you would have thought that I would have a sit down, we'll meet for a beer here now and again, and if I'd have ever said I'm going to go spend half an hour with you and just talk, never my wildest imagination.
Yeah, but I like this. I like this fact right here.
Yeah.
See, since you've left Scottsdale Christian Academy, they've won championship state titles here.
They won one.
Yeah, that's all that matters because all we hear from you is that since you've left the Dallas Cowboys, they've never won another title. So you can't make that claim with Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles. So I'm liking that.
I will acquiesce that maybe my presence is as important in my 60s as it was in my 20s and 30s.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, that is funny. So we always talk. Steve and I, and whatever sports show I've been on, summertime, boy, it sucks when it comes to sports, mostly. You can talk some baseball, but you can't expand on one Diamondback game for, an hour. And you can talk about it in 10 minutes, and then you kind of move on. And there's really not June, and the NFL usually is not a whole lot going on. NBA now has picked up maybe the last year or two with free agency and things like that. So now we find ourselves in June because we're taking a couple Fridays off, and there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and including the NBA, which their free agency actually starts at signing period starts at 3 p.m. this afternoon local time. So and of course all the trades that are taking place.
Yes, Coop, I want to ask you one quick question, and we'll get into what I know you want to talk about. So. Your boy, the Beard, James Harden, declined a $42 million player option. Did you ever sit in front of the NBC brass and say, I'm declining my option for $42 million, saying I want more and I want a longer deal?
Well, yeah, and he's going to get that. So what if he plays this year? He plays for $42 million, and there's nothing beyond. He's got to find another suitor. But if he opts out and that team like Cleveland is still interested in him, they're talking about a 2-year, $90 million deal extension, which would be $45 a year.
Right.
And it's an additional $45 that he doesn't have right now at $42.
Right.
So look, but to answer your question, no, I mean, this is insane to me. I would never opt out of a deal like that. Are you kidding me?
Now that there's talks and hey, you do this and we'll do that, and you have to be pretty confident in the person that you're dealing with. But anytime I see a guy not opt in on over $40 million just makes you shake your head of the place we are in sports.
Yeah, and now if you want to talk about, and I know it's not the same money, but $27.7 million is nothing to sneeze at. But I respect Draymond Green. See, Draymond Green is opting out for different reasons.
Yes.
He's opting out to give the Golden State Warriors a chance to make a deal to go acquire Anthony Davis and then have some money left to and it's not going to be big money because they don't have that much money on the cap. But if you can get LeBron James in for $15 million, well, Draymond's ready to take a minuscule deal. I mean,
right.
because
take less.
Yeah, he dreams of playing with Steph.
Right.
Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and himself. I mean, look, I think the average age of those four is something around 37, 38 years of age.
I think that's on ESPN, 37 and plus, some months.
Yeah, and Anthony Davis is the youngest of them at 32. But shoot, man, the way this guy's health goes, I mean, you think he's 42.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know that. I think it'd be a great story. I know the Bay Area fans would go nuts.
Yes.
And
I think it'd be a great NBA story.
Well, they're going to max out the maximum amount of national TV games that they can have.
Right.
And every game they go into is going to be sold out. But I still don't think that they have what it takes to overtake an OKC or a San Antonio in the West.
Right. No, I don't either, but I think it'd be a great NBA story.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
And I'd love to see them all be healthy going into a playoff series against one of those two teams just to see what would happen. But let's bring it closer to home. Now, I think there was some consternation that the Suns were kind of done with what they're going to do after the draft and kind of run the same thing back. And you had a couple guys that did the same thing, and Grayson Allen and Orlando
Royce O'Neal.
Why don't I Orlando Woolridge, who was coming to my mind.
You're going back. You're going back.
Yeah, that's old school. But obviously, they made the trade for the Miles kid from Charlotte. Almost said Chaparral, from Charlotte. Let's just start there. Your initial thoughts on number one, them making the deal, and then maybe come back with what you think he can bring to the Suns, good, bad, and different. Okay.
Well, I love the deal.
Okay.
Absolutely. Look, I'll go back to my draft that I've shared with Steve and you and stuff. I'm trying to get rid of both Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal.
Right.
Because I've said on this very show that, if they're not hitting their shots, they don't bring much more value to your team. And so after watching the Spurs series with the Knicks and also Spurs with the Thunder, I became fans of Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper because, the way they get downhill to the basket with some physicality is very impressive. Yeah. I've never seen a guard or a wing, overpower and take Lou Dort out of his game. Stephon Castle completely took Lou Dort out of that series. Because, no one backs down that football body that he has, but Stephon Castle did it.
Right.
And so it was impressive. So I said, you know what? For the Phoenix Suns, I need more downhill attackers. The best I have is Jalen Green, and Jalen Green gets there with quickness. Now, look, the guys that I wanted for the Suns, Cameron Carr, ex of Baylor, that the Lakers traded up from 25 to 24 to get, and Dalen Swain from Texas that the Bulls took at number 15 after they took Caleb Wilson at 4. Those are the two guys I had eyed for the Suns to get, but they get downhill more like Jalen Green does. Okay. Quickness, speed, athleticism. I'm telling you, Miles Bridges is a guy that brings a lot of that Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper stuff. He gets down there with power and force. And look, Dale, I know there's a legion of Suns fans that are disappointed in this trade because of the character issues and some of the off the court issues that he's had. But I promise you, once they see this guy playing, and he's going to get them out of their seats because he's an electrifying and forceful slam dunker. He's amphibious, I should say ambidextrous for those who don't get that. Yeah. He's a left-hander, but he can finish either layup or slam dunk with his right hand. He's very skilled. He can run the floor. in transition. He's explosive at getting to the rack. He has a step back three. He's not as consistent with it as you'd like to be, but he's an athlete that gives the Suns a different dynamic on that team than what they had. I was not in favor of them running it back.
Right.
They needed to make some changes, and now they're becoming more athletic and dynamic with Bridges. Now, I'm not asking Suns fans to discount or forgive Miles Bridges, but as we know in athletics, there's always a team out there that will take on some yeah. And look. Dallas did that a lot in their day, and look, if I'm weighing the two options, and I'm not, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying, I don't condone violence, let alone domestic violence on a woman in the least. But I look at what Portland's taking on with Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy is. I don't know that I want to go that route, you know, and I'm not trying to, but I've seen Miles Bridges, and his case has been adjudicated, and in the 3 years since, we haven't seen him get in any trouble with the law. Now, I want to go back to here in Phoenix. There's a situation with Jason Kidd and his wife at the time, Jemana. Oh. I know a lot of Suns fans remember this. He's in a drive-through at Taco Bell, and his son TJ's in the car, and a domestic issue takes place. Jason gets suspended, and Jerry Colangelo ultimately sent him off to New Jersey, got rid of him.
Right.
They're not going to have that here. Well, Jason Kidd never got in any more trouble as it relates to domestic violence. He led the Nets to 2 NBA finals. So I'm not saying that Miles Bridges is going to be that, but he's already been given a second chance, and he's been playing in this league for the last 3 years, beyond that. Right. And so I'm not here to try and judge the guy or anything like that. I just know this. It's covering sports most of my life. There are teams that will always take a chance. Now, keep in mind, we just a few weeks ago, we were in this very studio talking about which team would take a chance on Brendan Sorsby.
Right.
Now, I like that the Commissioner Tackley who stepped in. And he said, "Hey, look,
it's not Tackley.
I know. It's not Tackley.
Now you said his name.
I'm losing the name. Gosh darn. Oh my gosh!
I can't think of his face.
I can't. He gets booed every time.
Say it again.
I can't even.
Say it again.
I can't even think of NFL
commissioner. I thought you were saying the commissioner's name.
Yeah, I can't. Look, forgive me. I can't. I'm not going to go to Pete Rozelle. I did go to Paul Tackley, but I realize that's not it.
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell.
Yes, that was driving me crazy.
It really was. Yeah. So Goodell says to Sorby, "Hey, look, dude. We're not going to set this precedent where someone can go afoul of the law, challenge the integrity of a sport, and then we're going to reward you by allowing you to come play. It's not going to work like that.
Right.
You're not. You take the year off. You think about this. You get some more rehab help. And so I like that. But it takes all those 32 teams off the hook. Now, trust me, someone in 2027 is going to draft Brendan Sorsby.
Yes.
And they're going to take a chance. And so, look, I was here when, I don't know if you remember a guy named Dexter Manley.
Oh, yeah.
Dexter Manley, ex of the they were the Washington Redskins back then. He had a lot of off the field issues.
Yes.
Well, he signed with the Arizona Cardinals. And I tell you what, he's one of my fondest interviews, one of the fondest players I've ever been around. I mean, I'm like, dude, how is it that you had this well, look, he had a lot of drug issues and stuff, so we know that. Yeah. And then I'll tell you another guy, Charles Barkley. When the Suns acquired Charles Barkley,
right?
And granted, I want you guys to understand, I'm not trying to at all say that what they did, Barkley or Manley or Ja Morant, anybody comes close to domestic violence and beating a woman. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that someone's going to take a chance on them, and Charlotte Hornets for the last 3 years have. And we've seen Bridges not go that route again, and hopefully he never does again. But I'm just saying that teams do take a chance on guys. And when Barkley came here, he had this reputation. I'll be honest. The first time I got around him to interview, I walked around on eggshells because I'm believing his reputation that preceded him, the reputation that he garnered in Philadelphia. I mean, this dude's throwing people through glass plates, windows, and stuff.
Yeah,
he came with the, but he was the nicest, most accommodating individual. And so I'm like, man, something really must have happened for him to do things like that. But hey, I'm willing to give Bridges a second chance because he's already been given that second chance in the NBA by the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll see what happens. I do like the trade, and so the Suns are getting a very explosive athlete, a guy who I know a lot of people talk about. He's not that great defensively. Look, when me and you, and especially me, I've never played professionally, but I do. But the game is still it's still relative. Defense is just a will or a mindset.
Right.
This kid has the athletic ability to do it. I don't know if people will recall they're playing just this past basketball playoff season. The Hornets are playing the Miami Heat in a play-in game. Winner moves on as the 8th seed. Well, there was a chance, or it was either a 7th or 8th seed. I can't remember which game it was, but the Heat are driving for the final shot of the game-winning shot, last shot time. Block shot, Miles Bridges. Game saved. Hornets win 125-124. So I'm just saying that he brings a lot of things that you're not going to get from Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal overall. Now, when Royce and Grayson Allen are hitting their shots, their three-point shots, oh, dude, you want them on their squad. So I can understand why Charlotte would want both those players, especially knowing that Miles Bridges, this is a contract year for him. His deal is up next season. And so they're probably looking and saying, do we really want, we really don't, we'll let somebody else deal that. In the meantime, let's bring some more veteran players on here that can get us better our opportunities to advance in the playoffs.
The thing that's always perplexing to me is, number one, I agree with almost everything you said. The fact that anytime you say something positive about it, we'll just use Miles Bridges.
Okay.
There's a 50% of the people out there that are saying, "Oh, you're condoning what he did."
Right.
And as a guy with 2 daughters and a wife, and you have a daughter and a wife, couldn't be further from the truth.
Absolutely.
It's abhorrent what he did, and so that's that. What I always, chuckle's not the right word, but it's frustrating to me when people look to a professional league, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, as a moral police.
Yeah.
Your job as a professional team is to win games. That's what you're there for. There's a law out there to adjudicate what people do, whether you're an athlete or not an athlete, and there's jails and prison and all those things. And so when the law does what it's supposed to do, and then people look to the NBA or NFL and go, well, you should suspend him for a year, or you should do, or you should, or you should. But hold on. In the very next breath, you want me to win. And so I've always struggled with that moral police part, and looking at a professional league saying, well, you guys need to take care of that, which doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. So it's going to be fascinating. Obviously, we got more to talk about. We're going to have to take a break. But then you've got the Detroit Lions, who took a different approach today. And we'll get into that right after the break. What they did with Terrion Arnold. He's Bruce Cooper, the legendary Bruce Cooper. I'm Dale Hellestray. Steve may or may not join us here as we come back from break. But if not, Coop and I will carry it to the finish line.
Who needs Steve, right?
Yeah, who needs Steve? Steve gets off for it. Welcome back, second hour, the main event. Bruce Cooper, Dale Hellestray, Steve on assignment. He'll be back here.
Well, I want to know. There's a rumor floating around, and maybe it's one that I'm starting. Is Steve on this phone call with his bookie? I mean, is that what we're doing? I mean, there's some World Cup stuff going on. I mean, is he trying to get in a last-minute wager?
There is, and what's fascinating when you bring that up, we weren't going to talk about this right now, but We have a guy named Uncle Lou Finicaro. He's come on our program, any program I've been around. He's a gambler.
Okay.
Super nice guy, solid dude, keeps track of everything he does, very informative, and all those things. I don't understand how to bet. I don't do it a whole lot. I'll throw $10 here, $5 there every once in a while. But when you talk about World Cup, he's talking about this might be one of the most solid things you can bet on, because what he's afraid of, he's our age, and he grew up with boxing and how boxing used to, and then boxing kind of went and a little on the dark side, and things were fixed, and so he got out of that. And anyway, but when you brought up soccer, let's continue our conversation, because obviously it hit us locally here with the Miles Turner trade. Before we go to the next thing, finish with the Suns. You think the Suns are done? Do you think that there's something out there that they might try and get accomplished before the season starts?
Well, Dale, I don't see them making another trade. They have roughly their mid-level exception to use, which for Phoenix, based on their salary cap and where they are, their second apron and things of that nature, they can only utilize it up to $6 million. And so then you say, I hear the Suns are looking for another shooter, and when you look at some of the shooters out there that are free agents that are top shelf type guys, the Suns don't have enough money to get them.
To get involved.
Yeah. And so short of a trade, and I just don't see that they're the best chips they have to trade would be the recently signed Mark Williams and maybe Jalen Green, because you know that they're not going to come off of either Dylan Brooks or Devin Booker. So that would be, and so I think the Suns now will this roster that they have right now is the one that they're going to come back with. I'd like to see Jordan Ott, Suns head coach, give people like Kobe Brea a chance to play more. I mean, we all watch. If you go back to the Suns' last regular season game, a game in which the Suns have already cemented their place as a play-in team, and we already knew that OKC had clinched the number 1 overall seed. So neither team played their starters, and so it was a chance for and Oklahoma City. They have a deep bench.
Yeah,
they have a deep bench.
Yeah.
So their deep bench played against the Suns and their young players. The Suns threw out Oso Ighodaro and Ryan Dunn. Oso didn't play that much, but Ryan Dunn got to play. And then you saw the rookies, Kaman Malawak and Kobe Brea play. Brea dropped 6 threes in that game. Malawak had 18 points, 14 boards, and a couple blocks. And so it was just an opportunity to play NBA players. And like I said, the Thunder, and it's impressive because they have a very, very deep bench.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these kids need is the opportunity to play. And Ott is one of those guys who is really stingy with giving these young kids an opportunity to play. So that's another reason why I was all for getting rid of both Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, because it would force Ott to turn in and give the younger kids more opportunities. Now, it still may not come to them, but it gets them closer to more playing time, because both, if you project the starting 5 and maybe the next 5, maybe you see Brea and Malawak as the 11th and 12th guys. Well, when injuries or foul troubles take place, the 11th and 12th guys now become in that rotation, whereas before, they're either down in the G League playing or on the bench in street clothes. They're not getting off the bench. So right. I like the opportunity that's been presented and coming their way. So yeah.
Now, so right now the starting lineup projected, no new change, would be Booker, Green, Brooks, Miles Bridges, and Mark Williams.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the one guy we have not talked about is Koa Pete. How does he fit into this whole thing in your mind?
Well, look, I covered Koa Pete's dad, Todd, when he was with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
On that same line with Louis Sharp, Tootie Robbins, Lance Smith, and Derek Kennard. So, I know. And look, I've covered his sons as they've come up through the high school ranks, on going on to college, and for Andres on to the NFL. I'll say this: I didn't really see Koa Pete as being a good fit for the Suns for what they needed, and for me, for the Suns, even though you can say, well, Coop. Miles Bridges is right around Koa's Pete, 6'7", 6'8". What do you mean? Well, the Suns, Jordan Ott, too often played this small lineup, and it drove me crazy. I mean, it absolutely drove me crazy. And when the Suns give up, 79 points in the paint, and they're giving up, 20 offensive rebounds, 32 second chance points. I mean, it's because you're playing these small lineups. So I was looking for the Suns to get bigger at the 4. Right. And I've already said on the show, the Suns would be so much better if Oso Ighodaro developed 4 skills. I mean, because he's an undersized 5, but he's perfect size for a 4. But the fact that the guy doesn't have an outside shot. He only has his little push shot in the paint.
Yes.
The fact that the guy only shoots 60. I mean, he shoots a little bit better than Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks at the free throw line, but not much. And that's not saying. And that's really much. No, yeah, it's not. And so I would love to see him do that, but I just didn't see Pete being that guy. But I do believe what Brian Gregory says. There's no one who's going to work harder and get better at his game than Koa Pete. Because see, I've been around the Suns, and I've seen players get better from year to year. I remember when the Suns acquired Jason Kidd from the Mavericks. One of the big things that was going around is that they acquired Asen Kidd. He said, "Don't you mean Jason?" No, because the J's missing.
Yeah.
The guy, he couldn't shoot. Yeah. But by the time he retired, he was one of the top 10 3-point snipers in NBA history.
Yep.
And so you can work on yourself. I've seen Patrick Ewing come from Georgetown as a defensive savant. All of a sudden, he's averaging 28 points a game in the NBA. Right. And so it can be done. So Koa Pete will do that. But the Suns, so I see him more as a developmental guy. I don't see him making a big impact this year. The Suns don't need him. So he's a guy that can go down to the G League and play a little bit more and things of that nature. So I think that'd be good for him. So, yeah, I'm good.
And you're happy with the Booker, Green, Dillon Brooks?
Yes, I am. That trio did not get to play much together at all. So we didn't really get to see how they would play. But there was a Suns had a play-in game that after they lost to Portland, they're playing Golden State now.
Yeah,
it's winter. It's winter. Your season's over. Yep. Yeah, I want to go home. Jalen Green showed out. I mean, matter of fact, he showed out even in the loss to Portland. And so this kid was hamstrung. no pun intended.
Yeah.
All season long. But he's an explosive athlete. And so I like him. I'd like to see him be given a chance to play 82 games with Book and Dillon Brooks.
Okay. Before we move on to football, because it's really fascinating. You talk about the Suns making a trade for a guy with a troubled past, and then the way the Lions handled their troubled current wide receiver. But according to your guy named Shams Charania.
Okay.
I'm just going to read you the tweet. I want what your initial thoughts are.
Okay.
LeBron James will continue his career for next year and has informed the Lakers that the franchise can move on without him because he'll play somewhere else. That's according to Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul.
Well, then that's if Rich Paul's saying that, and you know that LeBron, him and LeBron are boys, and LeBron actually helped him form that agency. It's in cement. That's book it. So it tells me that LeBron will either play for the Miami Heat. I can't see him going to Cleveland, back to Cleveland. He'll either play for the Miami Heat or the Golden State Warriors. And look, anything that cripples the Lakers, I'm okay with it. Now there are Laker fans who are going to applaud this because they think that LeBron has been holding them back. And but I'm telling you, he even at 39, 40 years old, this man is an amazing phenomenon. I mean, Dale, he drives downhill. I still wouldn't want to get in the
He's
way
a
of him
freight
trying to
train
take
coming downhill still.
Yeah, and he's now more of a proficient three-point shooter now than he was earlier in his career. I mean, he's gotten better with age, and that normally doesn't happen. I think LeBron is still a force.
And if he's your second or third option, there ain't second or third on, because obviously if he goes to Golden State, Steph's still gonna be number one.
Yeah, and look, and see, LeBron, this hasn't changed about him. He loved being a point forward.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't mind being a guy that facilitates and gives up shot. I mean, he's been criticized in his career for not taking that shot.
Being too unselfish.
Yeah. So that won't be a problem.
Right.
But his physicality, his intelligence, and his ability to get downhill, those are all good things. Hey, oh, look who's back.
Oh,
look who's back. Hey, I got to ask him.
I was gonna sneak in.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious. How much money did you lay down on that with your bookie there?
Yeah, he's out there. You're getting some odds on the USA soccer team. Well, we're just finishing up NBA basketball.
Sorry about that, guys and every.
No, that's okay.
I was watching. I had it on. I was double checking.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
back.
wow. Oh, here it is right here.
I've got a 10 10 G's.
Portugal plus. Okay, that's not bad.
I like
Sorry
that.
about that. It had to do with that court date tomorrow. And
Okay.
had limited time to deal with it, so I got a tenant problem, Bruce.
Oh, geez.
Don't get tenants.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, all right. So you can just jump in where you want to jump in.
You guys keep rolling. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I heard your comments on the trade. You like it too, though, huh?
I do.
All right.
I do. And Dale's about ready to get into Terry and Arnold. I guess
Yeah.
he wants to see see how that plays.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys keep running. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure I heard correctly because you and me, I think, are the only ones that like the trade.
Well, me and you are the only smart ones.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, if he goes out and he averages 21 points and 9 rebounds and facilitates, a lot of things get forgotten.
And let me tell you something. The Suns acquired Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
The Suns fans have hated him forever.
Yes.
He comes on the Suns team, they love him. They acquired Danny Ainge, same thing.
Grayson Allen.
Yeah. And so here's the deal. When they see what Miles Bridges can do athletically, I mean, I guarantee you, he's going to get them out of their seats on these electrifying slam dunks and the way he can do things from an athletic standpoint. They're going to get it. They're going to embrace him. They're going to like him. And so, look, I don't blame him for those who don't want to give the guy a second chance. I don't blame you. I mean, what he did was abhorrent.
Yeah.
Even though he's already been adjudicated, you want the Suns to play double jeopardy.
Yeah.
That's what fans do until when you start winning, they forget all about it. They'll embrace him, and then they'll want the Suns to re-sign him at the end of the season.
Hey, can you extend the guy?
Well, it's an expiring contract, but I just want to say before you take it over, Dale, and take it is. Man, it feels good. The legend said basically verbatim what I said yesterday. So there you go, folks.
Yeah.
And that means that Steve is right.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
Yeah. All you Mason guys.
Yeah, I warned everybody yesterday. I said the people that don't like what he did, understandably so, but you're going to fall in love with this guy.
Sure.
When he gets on the court.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And look, we can't, and Dale talked about being the moral police. His case has already been adjudicated.
Yeah. He missed a whole year of basketball.
And 3 years now has passed since this incident.
Right. And
he's not had another problem. Now, could he have could that resurface in Phoenix? Sure, it could.
Well, then you deal with it.
But yeah, absolutely. But in the meantime, in between time, you're trying to win, and you think that this guy has cleaned up his act, and he has what you think can help you take that next step.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Take us where you're going to go, Dale.
Well, we were kind of setting this up, the fact that the Suns bring in a guy who's had a checkered past, and then the Lions did something that nobody ever does before a case has been adjudicated.
Yeah.
And they just outright release their first round. This isn't releasing Dale Hellestray in his third year. This is your first round draft pick. You're starting cornerback, Terry Arnold.
Yeah.
Terry Arnold.
And here's the deal. Arnold was victimized. He had his home burglarized.
Yeah.
He had over $100,000 in cash stolen. He had a lot of jewelry and things like that. I mean, and so he got a tip on who those burglars were or the perpetrators were. And so he called some of his boys. Hey, let's go get him. And so even though Arnold wasn't present, you know,
there's a caveat to that, though.
You know, yeah. Two of the people who were arrested that he had helped, you know, go adjudicate his own situation, they're turning state's evidence. They are dropping dime, and they're saying that Terry and Arnold set this whole deal up. So he even though he wasn't there,
the two guys that did it showed that they were FaceTiming Arnold in a car, and he showed up an hour later. But also the Lions, this came out just this morning while I was outside. I saw this. The Lions released him after his bond was set at $1 million.
Yeah, and so it just I
stories
think,
have changed.
Well, but here's the deal: the Lions are going to investigate this well as the league, and so it's what they're reading, it's what is coming across to them that leads them to believe, oh, we have to cut bait now because this is not going to get better. So. Here's a case. Here's a team in which they are looking at the evidence ahead before them.
Yep.
And they're saying this can't have a positive end. Let's cut bait. And so I wouldn't argue with that at all.
Right.
Even though he hasn't had his day in court, even though we know in the USA they say you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Well, the Lions as an organization or any business, they have the right to decide what they want associated with their team.
Yes.
And so if they want to cut bait, I won't have a problem. And I believe, and even though I know I just stated what the law is, I believe Terry and Arnold did what people are saying. Yeah, because a couple of those people have been given plea deals.
Yeah.
If they
turn state's evidence.
Yeah. And so this is some of the jargon or narrative that's coming out of that.
You know, what's fascinating to me is, number one, why not just call the cops and say, hey, all the stuff I've been told, all the stuff is over there, wherever it is.
I don't know, Dale. That makes no sense.
Well, why not do that?
Yeah.
It seems like that's the most simple thing. It is there. I have whatever he got that said everything's at this place.
Right.
Call the police or whatever. But here's another thing, and I think you know this. But every professional sports team has either a current or retired FBI guy.
Oh, they do. They do.
And they can make phone calls to people that you and I can't.
Right.
And they can find out what the straight scoop
absolutely.
is.
I was very good friends with the Suns.
Okay.
The Cardinals.
FBI
guy.
I knew him pretty well. Yeah, helped me out on a couple of things.
So they. While the public might be blind to exactly what's going on, they've already,
they know.
I promise, that night there were phone calls being made.
Yeah. So they've already, Neil, glad you say that, because they've already informed the ownership and that what is up.
Yes.
And you cut bait now.
Yeah. You know, and again, it's just, you sit here and look at it, and it's two completely different crimes. Two completely different sports, and yet you look at it and you go, okay, so two teams handled it completely different.
Well, but here's the deal. Here's a big difference, though, Dale. You have to go back and look at how Charlotte dealt with it, because see, the Phoenix are getting him after the fact, after he's already been adjudicated, after he's already spent 3+ years after the fact.
Right.
Charlotte had to deal with it then.
Well, he was going into his free agency year, and he was going to get paid. We're talking about. I just forgot his name. The Suns guy.
Miles Bridges?
He was going into his free agency year, and the Suns were going to go heavily after him that time. He was going to make a ton of money. And the Charlotte was the only team that stuck their neck out and re-signed him, and then he took that year off of basketball. So they didn't cut bait with him to move on. But also, penalties in basketball are a lot different than penalties in football.
Well, what do you mean?
Arnold's going to get a harsher suspension in NFL circles, even if he's deemed innocent of this, than you will in the NBA side. NBA is a little bit more lax.
No. Look, I thought the NBA came down really hard on a guy named Ja Morant, who was showing up with pictures of guns.
That was his third time though before they finally cracked down on him. It took him 3 times. Well, the other. I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, it's just.
I think the league.
The NBA gave him a 30-day suspension, and he had the year off, right? And then they ended up doing it. So this is 30-day suspension in NBA terms is a mini vacation.
I thought the NBA hammered him a pretty good. And you're right. It may have been a second time that he violated what they told the terms of his original suspension.
You're talking about John Morant. Yeah. And I don't know if it was 3, but it was definitely
it was the second.
2.
He did. They laid it down, and I'll be darned. I'll be darned if he didn't violate and do the same darn thing. It's like, dude. It's like the Terry Arnold. Dude, what are you thinking?
Well, that's what you can't get right with his career. Is starting for the Lions, the money he's making. Is it worth it? Was it worth it to show these guys that you're the badass and you're not going to hurt you, and everything it costs you your career and possible serious jail time on top of it? It's just sometimes you just sit back and go, "What are you thinking?"
Yes. Yeah. Well, a lot of times you do that with professional athletes. You don't take a step back and go.
You have to have the right people around you too. Yes. To say, dude, no. You said, look, man, you're eligible for an extension.
Yeah.
Your second contract is the one that's going to say, dude, no.
That's the one you're playing for.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't do that.
You need more people like me when you call me at 8:00 at night. I go, man, I'm in bed.
I ain't helping you do that.
Can we do this tomorrow and think about it later?
All right. So I did this to Coop, and then Steve, you can take over the program again.
No, you're good.
This just breaking. You might have read it when you were out there on the
phone.
I
saw it out there. Look at LeBron being nice.
LeBron James said the Lakers can move on without him, but he's going to play this year.
He's going to be playing for the Warriors in about 2 hours, Dale.
You think that's what's happening?
That's where he's going. I was convinced he was going to the Warriors.
I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up with the Heat.
Really? Again with Pat Riley?
Him and Giannis. Because, see, look, the Heat roster is really depleted after they did what they did. And that's the only way you're going to get Giannis. They gave up 4 players that were actually 3 of them were starters.
Okay.
Right.
And a big part of their team is Hero. Yeah,
absolutely. And so if LeBron goes back to South Beach, look who he has. Bam Adebayo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James. That ain't bad.
See, hold on.
And they're younger than what he'd be getting in Golden State.
That's my point with Golden State.
But one thing here, I'm going to ask you two this question because number one, does it really matter about the youth of the team? LeBron's looking at the next year or 2.
Yeah.
He wants to win.
I don't think he cares in 6 years.
Well, that's why I discount the Heat.
But what I'm going to ask you, you are LeBron James. You're worth $1.5 billion, Coop, and you have the choice. Are you going to Golden State or are you going to Miami?
I'm going to Miami.
You're going to Miami.
Because I have 2 guys that are going to play 82 games. Yeah. Anthony Davis, I gotta hope would play 41.
No, he's still in Washington. That's what I was going to bring up here.
But that's part of the deal.
Yeah. No, because they signed. Here's what complicated it yesterday. The Dubs Warriors signed up Porzingis yesterday. 2 years, I think it was $40 million. They don't have the mid-level exception anymore, and so Washington doesn't seem willing to trade Anthony Davis. So if Anthony Davis goes to wherever Anthony Davis goes, LeBron will entertain going to. He wants to play with them.
Well, he ain't going to Washington.
But now, no, exactly. So Anthony Davis, if he's not moving to the Warriors, it puts a staple in. I'll tell you this: I saw Brian Windhurst this morning on ESPN's Get Up, and he was like, "LeBron's going to the Warriors today." I mean, he was just like, "It's happening. It's happening today. He's signing with them." He said everything but mark it down. It's happening, which shocked me because Anthony Davis doesn't look like he's going to be going there. And everything, but the Warriors have reportedly told Jimmy Butler he's not going to be traded. So it's Porzingis, Butler, Draymond's going to re-sign. He opted out for contract reasons. Obviously, Steph, and now LeBron on that team. If he signs that, the Warriors over the Heat every day.
I still like Bam Adebayo. If I'm LeBron, I still like Bam Adebayo.
But are the Heat winning a championship this year?
Look,
or being in the running for
it? Their path out of the East would be easier than Golden State's path out of the West.
That's true.
Because they ain't getting by OKC and or San Antonio.
That is true. Well, just we made fun of the Lakers a couple years ago on how old they were. Before they blew up that team. What was that, about 3 years? We were at the radio station when that old time team happened. Yeah, that Warriors team's got even bigger. So I don't know. It is interesting because you think the Heat would be in on it and stuff like that. But the fact that LeBron said Lakers, I'm gonna do you a favor. You can move on without me. Kind of makes me laugh.
Well, and going back to Golden State, I mean, look, Kristaps Porzingis isn't going to draw illusions of being an Iron Man. I mean, he's not. I mean, that guy's brittle as well.
But I'll go a step farther. Lakers, Warriors, or Heat, the Lakers have a better shot of making a big run in the playoffs than any of the other two teams.
Well, let's put it like this. There are a legion of Laker fans, and I have some, and I got a lot of relatives who live in L.A.
I grew up a Lakers fan.
They think LeBron is the albatross to their roster.
I agree 100% with that. LeBron is the problem to the Lakers because the Buss family brought him in to sell jerseys and be besties with him, and he ruins that team with who he brings in there. He needs to go from that team. I'm not disputing that, but I'm just saying in terms, and the Lakers said they wanted him back. Now, could that be a publicity stunt?
Look, I'm telling you, even at 39, 40 years old, LeBron James is still a beast. He's a factor.
Every time LeBron got hurt, the Lakers played better. When LeBron wasn't in the lineup, the Lakers played better.
That's what a lot of my relatives tell me. I said, if you guys think that Luka, Austin Reeves, and Roy Hachimura is enough to take your place.
Don't forget DeAndre Ayton. He's picking up his player option.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, as a Suns fan and a Lakers hater, I love that move.
Well, I was thinking Mark Williams. They're going to make a big play and make a run for Mark Williams.
Because they did before, and you know what? I was thinking that as well.
Yeah.
And Dale asked me a little earlier. If I felt the Suns were done moving people, I said I think their only tradable assets would be Mark Williams and Jalen Green, I don't think they're going to do either one.
I think they're going to sign a cheap guy off of a power forward or a 4 or 3 off of the free agency bin as another 3-point shooter. I think that's the only. They're pushing up against the second. Well, now they're below the first.
Well, they only have $6 million in that mid level exception to use, it's not.
They'll get a guy off the scrap heap to come in to shoot threes.
But again, if they just give that opportunity to Kobe Brea, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Because they do have some young guys on the team, as Coop has pointed out a number of times on the show. So
but I mean, Ja going to Portland. Now, I'll argue Portland's moving from Portland soon. That owner is setting them up to be moved. Let
me tell you something. Portland has way too many guards. I mean, I looked at that. I said, dude. It's unbelievable. Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard, and Avia, Suns fans who didn't know who he was before, they know who the hell he is now.
We learned him in that playing game.
Absolutely. And so
now they have a coach that signed a terrible deal.
And they have a guy that they drafted 3rd overall a couple years ago in Scoot Henderson. So I'm like, dude, that's 5 guards.
Right.
The other big story around the NBA, Dale, you didn't talk about this, is Beasley. Malik Beasley, thank you, and Ed Davis. And an NBA agent on top of it. 6 defendants indicted Monday on charges alleged sports gambling scheme. 4 games is what they found so far during the 23-24 season. Federal indictment, obviously, on top of the gambling with the Portland coach and the Heat guy that I forget, Rozier and all that stuff. Out there. I mean, NBA's got a gambling problem.
Well, there was when speaking of Malik Beasley, there was a game. It was like maybe, I guess the line was 8.5.
I saw video. I saw the video of this on the missed free throw.
Instead of just taking the ball, he dribbled all the way through the slam dunk, and I'm like, dude, that will raise an eyebrow.
No time on the clock. Yeah. Everybody else is milling around.
Yeah, I mean, it was 4 seconds left to go in the game.
Somebody reposted that yesterday and goes, "Yeah, tell me this guy wasn't gambling."
Oh my God,
But here's the thing, right? You had a ref that got caught, and others that they kind of swept under the rug.
Yeah,
whether you like to say that. You've got the Portland thing. Now that wasn't necessarily on basketball games. Some of it was, but it was also on poker and things like that. And you want to put an NBA team in Las Vegas coming up here when there's already a gambling problem.
Well, here's the deal. This is I know you're looking at it as a negative. They have a gambling problem, but I'm looking at it as that. Look, the league's trying to clean up this. They're not trying to be non-transparent about it. They're bringing it to the forefront, and so I like that.
And the reason the way I'm looking at it is, look how kind of what Dale was alluding to. Look how the NFL's handling the Sorsby situation.
Yeah, sure.
Compared to NBA gambling, now the NBA has nothing to do with the NBA's not bringing it to the forefront. Like, rumor had it they knew about Chauncey Billups gambling in what's his name of the Heat, Rozier's gambling in the Heat. They knew about it a couple years before. It didn't become public till the FBI raided him and arrested him. So they're not They're not exactly coming out and going.
This is what I've heard. The NBA is the one that alerted the FBI.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. Okay.
Because they says, and so the FBI is the one that does the investigation,
Yes.
and so they have to be tipped off because FBI is going to be they're not necessarily watching the game. Say, oh, the NBA NBA tipped them off, and let them know that these are the people that we suspect based on what the information we're getting from our people that run these gaming
right.
Deals. And so that's what I heard happen.
Well, and then again, I don't have a criminal mind. I don't think like that. I always say if all these people are doing all these sinister things and concocting things, they use that for good. How good this world could be. But you text your buddy. Davis texted Beasley in December of 23 and said, only way you can beat Vegas is sports betting. We can make some good money.
Well, I think Beasley owed Davis a lot of money because they were gambling with each other. So the way I read it yesterday was, so in order for Beasley to pay off Davis, they concocted this scheme of going in on these games together. And they played together in the early 2000s, but they weren't playing together when it went on as well. It's just interesting, like to your point, how these leagues are handling it. But it's like every day we're hearing, not every day, but it seems like a lot. We're hearing about how easy it is to gamble around the NBA and influence things. And stuff
and even though the analogy I'm about ready to present is maybe considered weak, it's to me it's relative. I can't tell you how many times I would have to go on set at Channel 12 and report about someone who was drinking and driving, or someone who was doing drugs. So I used to do a lot of speaking engagements with the high school athletes, especially, and we'd have like the National Football Foundation's banquets where they hand out the awards. And so I'm emceeing this. And so I'd always give a little talk to the kids. Dude, don't embarrass the name on the back of your jersey. I mean, your family has raised you better. You're going off to college now. Dude, you do the right thing. I said, I'm tired of talking about athletes who drink and drive, got busted for drug. And I said, dude, don't be that guy. And so now, I said, there's just so many cases, and yet they continue to repeat themselves. Even people going to the NFL Combine, you'll find out that
the day before.
I mean, dude, come on, don't be that guy. And so now we're seeing it in with gambling. Dude, how many cases do you have to see before you wake the freak up?
They're gonna find you out. And Cooper, it's so interesting because I've told my story about I went to the second NFL Combine ever in '85.
And you said it was here in Phoenix.
Here in Phoenix, and we had no idea what the Combine was. When we showed up, we thought it was a weekend. We're gonna meet some teams, visit, see our buddies from the All-Star games. We're sitting around drinking beer the night before, and nobody had worked out. Nobody worked any drills. And the next thing you know, it's like drug test at 6 o'clock. And it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like, you would think guys back then might have gotten busted. Right. We had no clue what was going on. But it's like, learn from your predecessors'
Absolutely.
mistakes.
I just don't
get it. But that's just, you don't think you're going to get caught, right?
It's arrogant.
That's what I mean. Yeah, nobody's going to catch us doing this. What I don't get is, like I said, is they're texting each other. And that's how they get caught. They pull your phone stuff and they go, oh. Hey, the over-under on this game is 7 rebounds. Make sure you get 6 tonight, and don't go after that. They're literally text messages, and just sit there and go, what are you doing when you think about it? But I don't know. I just found it curious that the NBA is the league where we keep seeing this come out of. And like I said, they want to put a team in Vegas coming up here. And you don't.
See,
well,
you're-
you know, I don't have a problem with the place team in Vegas because every team, like you take the Phoenix Suns mortgage center, they was it FanDuel that's disconnected, right? I mean, look, you go to the Cardinals game, right at State Farm Stadium. They built, they built. I mean, so it's everywhere,
right?
I mean, you know.
Well, no, but that's where I get the hypocrisy on the Sorsby thing. But it's all about integrity of the league.
Wait. How's it hypocrisy with Sorsby?
Well, because if you watched an NFL football game, I swear to God, it's 7,000 ads of gambling.
Oh,
yeah,
it's erectile dysfunction and gambling ads.
Well,
the two things us men love the most.
Well,
and you know, and it's just like, well, what are you pumping 7,000? But it's all about integrity of the game and stuff like that. And the NFL already has an or NBA has an integrity problem.
Well, Steve, those commercials are meant for Joe Q public.
You know, but they're making a lot of money off it.
Yeah. But they like they'll tell you, they bring every player, every coach, every owner. I mean, and they teach them about the ills. They go over, and it's in the bylaws.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you the question. Here's why Sorby's getting screwed the most out of all of this.
How's he getting screwed?
Rightfully so. What I'm about to point out to you, though, is what I don't like about it.
Okay.
Rashee Rice drives down the freeway, almost kills a lady in a minivan, crashes his car, gets out, walks down the freeway. You know, gets suspended, 6 games last year? Yeah. Breaks his probation, has to do 30 days in jail, won't get suspended again. What's worse? Sorsby gambling? Or Rashee Rice almost killing somebody on the street?
And again, you to me, that's a moot argument.
Yes,
of course. Suspended for life.
Well, Steve, here's the deal. What Rashee did is going to be adjudicated by the laws of our land. It's independent of the NFL. He broke a law. Now, what Sorsby did was not breaking a law; it's breaking a bylaw.
Yeah.
And so for these teams to
he's
operate,
making bylaws though.
But you can't. But for these teams to operate, integrity is of the utmost important. If they believe that you are allowing your players or anybody like that to compromise what they're betting on, what they're rooting for, dude, you've lost.
And at the end of the day, I think it's the way you're putting it, Steve. If Sorsby's not getting screwed.
No, I said that, I realized Sorsby's punishment is correct. I'm not saying that. It just also bothers me that I have to watch 1,000 gambling ads and they're making millions of dollars off it. Yeah. And then on top of it, we're watching Rashee Rice and I don't know what's going to happen here with Arnold, but let's say he gets out of it with the deal. Yeah, and then he gets his punishment, and then he's out there playing football again, and has a 5-game suspension. It's just I just sit back and go, all right.
Okay, whatever. Well, Steve, while you were out dealing with your stuff, the fact that
laying down that latest gambler.
Speaking of gambling,
your latest lawyer stuff. The fact is, when we, as American citizens, start looking to our pro sports leagues.
I agree with that.
To be the moral police. Well, no, Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice should have this. And then Terry and Arnold. Yeah. Well, nobody got killed. Yeah. So is it really as bad as what Rashee?
Yeah, but you're also talking to the guy that everybody's up in arms that, holy cow, the Suns just signed him. Help me out. They just Miles, thank you. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name today. But they just signed him. The uproar wasn't about what he does on the court. The uproar was the domestic violence. Rightfully so. It was a terrible, terrible thing. But I'm able to separate the two.
But see, again.
Like you did.
The domestic violence thing was he broke the law.
Yeah.
That was adjudicated by through the jurisprudence system. Okay. Yeah. Now, the NBA can come back and say you violated our bylaws. That and so here's the deal.
I'm not upset with what they did with Sorsby. I phrased it wrong when I said it to you, but I mean I'm not upset they kicked Sorsby out. I think it's the right thing to do but then at the same time, the first game this year, a referee is going to make a blowingly call. It's going to cost somebody a game and people a lot of money, and the NFL is not going to address it.
Hey, but look.
That's where I get into problems.
Come on, that's human error. I mean, I don't think the referees. So
the human error when who was it? The Saints got screwed in that NFC Championship game on that blatant call. That was human error. That was somebody. Oh my God!
It was, but it changed the rules. Yeah. Of the game because now with instant replay only allowed like possessions to be overturned. They didn't allow for you to go in and say, "Hey, that was the wrong call."
My only point on the Sorsby thing is we found the one thing that unites everybody that you can't do, and that's gamble on sports when you're a player.
Well,
even the leagues agree with that. The fan base agrees with it, and thinks that I'm just having a fun time. Just being like, oh, yeah, every Chiefs fan is going to be Rashee Rice caught a pass, a touchdown pass this weekend. Woohoo!
Yeah, but
it's like who you're rooting for there, guys?
At the end of the day, the gambling, yes, they are making a lot of money on it. Vegas makes a lot of money on it. But the first sign of impropriety, that the game's not, the game is being fixed, the popularity goes away.
Well, you'll ruin your $2 billion league will go away if that happens.
Dale, you're talking about, Vegas doesn't want their gambling units. They don't want to lose their business.
Yeah.
And if they
highly regulated
and if they realize that someone is impugning the integrity of that sport,
well, they don't
that
want
they're betting on, then they're not going to lay down those high dollars anymore. So
Vegas doesn't want to lose.
And for the league, the league said, well, why would I watch you? The game's fixed. I mean, you can't you can never go down that road. That's why it's so.
What's my joke all the time? Because you make fun of WWE, and I go, WWE was the least scripted thing that happened this weekend after we watched a ref blow a bad call or a coach do something stupid on the field.
That's human error.
It's
right.
a joke. It's just me rubbing it in there and stuff.
Because when you look at what's going on and they're catching these guys, and again, there's always going to be an idiot in every hay pile.
Oh yeah.
There'd be somebody stupid.
No offense, Dale, but we're not dealing with rocket science football players.
No, we're not. No.
Oh man, come on!
And gosh, if there's ever anybody,
hey, Dale, come on, man, that's a low blow.
Hey, if there's ever anybody who was probably gonna have to throw a game to pay off his debts, it was me.
The long snapper.
Me when Troy and I bet Larry Allen when the Tiger went on his little run there in 2000 where he won like 6 times in a row. Larry Allen comes up. Larry Allen doesn't know a golf club from a ski pole. And he comes up to Troy and I and goes, I bet you $100 each that Tiger wins this week. We're like, okay. He hadn't really done anything yet. He wins. We go to pay him. He goes, well, why don't we just go double or nothing on the next tournament? Oh, okay. He wins. We're like, why? Larry doesn't know a golf ball from a beach ball.
Yeah, man.
There's no greatness sometimes. I don't know. No, the gambling. I get it. No, the leagues have to say, because if a gambling scandal comes out in huge things where it's a huge thing, it'll literally ruin the league, and you'll see a $2 billion entity become nothing tomorrow because the fans already have a hard time trusting. What's the first thing you hear when a ref makes a bad call or a player check his bank account, and stuff like that.
Unfortunately,
so that's why they have to crack down on it.
That's where
I'm just having a good time with, to me, beating up your spouse, killing somebody on a freeway, driving your car late at night in Georgia, and then getting drafted by the Eagles and not having a punishment. I'm having fun with that stuff. How that's actually worse than gambling.
But my deal is every one of those things that you mentioned, that is breaking the law.
Right.
Them gambling is not breaking the law. It's breaking it's impugning.
He was doing some stuff that probably breaks laws. The question is, will he get punished?
I didn't know the gambling was breaking the law.
No, he was having other people place bets for him.
You know more than I do.
Report supposedly.
You know more than I do.
That's what I mean.
But is that illegal for me to go? Hey, Steve, it's against the NCAA. But against the law, hey, Steve, I don't have my app with me. Can you throw $10 down the Suns or whatever? That's not breaking the law.
That's why I just placed a $10,000 bet today on England because Dale wanted me to do it.
Hey, I'll say this though, Steve, and I'm coming out of left field because I'm changing sports because see this has been on my mind since I watched it last night. You know how me and you have both apologized to Paul Sewald?
Yeah, and he almost blew it again last night.
Dude, look. On a road trip, it was a non-save. He went in with a 4-run lead.
Yeah.
He gave up 3 runs and had the tying and winning runs on base. So they brought in Brandon Garcia, and he got a strikeout for his first career save. Okay, that was on a road trip. His first game back home.
Week and a half ago.
Yeah, first game back home.
Yeah.
He takes a 3-run lead. It's a save opportunity now. The dude gives up 2 runs, has the winning run at the plate. I'm like, dude, and they stayed with him. It was only 1 out. He got 2 pop-ups.
And I've been saying that though from the beginning of the year. In all seriousness, like you give him credits for what he's doing, and I actually think what he's doing is most impressive because of the way he left this place last time. Like, how do you come back and pitch to? But all year long, I've been going, man. He throws these little low 90-mile-per-hour pitches right across the middle, and guys are missing on it. And it's fantastic to watch.
Yeah, he
but
was
it's got to catch up to him at some point.
Well, it
right?
is catching up to him now to the point to where
Guys.
I'm Dill. I don't want to see him back out there anymore.
Guys, do you guys know anything about baseball? It's that little round ball, you throw it over a plate and you swing it back. Do you understand that's what we're talking about?
I understand trends.
Yeah.
And I play to those trends.
He's only pitched 1 time in the last 10 days.
That's the problem.
He's not got any work because the Diamondbacks are losing every game.
I agree with Dale on this.
He's got to get regular work, which means the Diamondbacks have to win games and have the lead in the 9th. You can't pitch once every 10 days.
Well,
and especially, Coop, you know this. If you're a closer and you get brought in a non-save situation, your mindset isn't the same.
Yesterday was a save.
Hey, did they win the game?
Yeah,
they win the game.
Yeah,
barely.
They won the game.
I'm sorry. They're only going to get a .25 of a win because they barely won the game.
Dale, I'm telling you, the way things are trending, it's taken me back to,
but it's the whole team, Coop.
To the reason why I didn't want him in the first place.
Yeah. Okay.
The first reason why I wanted him gone.
I'm going to tell you where your focus again is very, very wrong. Since Sewell's not the problem, you got a couple starting pitchers who can't get out of their way.
I think what Bruce is exemplifying here is early in the year, and Dale admitted this, that earlier in the year, every time Sewell hit the mound, he did well. But every time he went out there, you were like, oh, here we go. Here comes Sewell.
And then he dominated. To him,
right?
I gave him his flowers.
Yeah. And then you forgot about it. And every time he went out there, you were like, oh, Sewell's out there. We're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now that he's starting to show some cracks, you're going back to, here we go again.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, hey, Steve put it very well. That's what he said.
No, because I feel the same way about it.
How about the Diamondbacks? Get him out there 4 times a week.
Yeah.
To come out for an inning, have some leads. But let's put the focus where it needs to be on. They haven't scored any runs.
No,
they're 2 supposedly 1 and 2 have pooped the bed. But when you have an ERA of 6.
Well, here's the other. I brought it up yesterday. Everybody's focusing on Zach Gallen problems. You have a Merrill Kelly problem.
Merrill Kelly,
5.84 ERA now.
Merrill Kelly is definitely struggling, and I like this. Look, I watched Cabrera pitch on Saturday, and he did once again. He had only given up a first inning run, and here he is in the 5th inning, has 2 outs, walks. I believe maybe his second batter of the game, then gives up the 2-run shot. But
that's a learning curve, right?
But look, I love the way the guy pitches, and I saw the assortment of pitches that he throws. He doesn't waste around. So, all of a sudden, how the Diamondbacks mismanaged Brandon Pfaadt has turned into a positive because I think they have something with Jose Cabrera. And so, but you're right, they're pitching, but beyond that, their hitting is just, I don't understand it. For the last 2 years, the Diamondbacks have been a top 3 scoring team. I believe they led the league in scoring last year. They brought back virtually the same guys. Now, keep in mind, you did get rid of.
They had to go young. At some point.
Yeah, they got rid of Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor.
Right.
But and I know Gino was a guy that didn't hit for average, but he hit the long ball and stuff like that. But, I mean, dang, man, it shouldn't be this dramatic.
Coop, well, how much more time do you give your boy Pavin Smith, who I've seen you get up on a soapbox and yell and scream about wanting to keep him on this team?
If they traded him tomorrow, I wouldn't shed a tear.
Do you think they
can't
could get
trade him.
anything
Nobody wants him.
from a bag of used batting practice balls?
I don't even think you can get used baseballs. They'll be like, here's some old underwear we'll give you, so we don't have to give it. We don't have to throw it away. Well, it's bigger than that. So the lineup, Sunday's game against the Rays, batting 4th was Adrian Del Castillo. or Lourdes Gurriel was, but it was Del Castillo, Gurriel, and then Pavin Smith. Was your 4th, 5th, and 6th guy in your lineup on Sunday? They're all sub. Well, Gurriel's 200, but everybody's sub 200. Was your 4th, 5th, and 6th? Why you can't figure out a way to break that group? So that was Sunday. You get swept by the Rays. Then yesterday, here's my problem, and here's my problem with the Diamondbacks are going through. They're throwing straws out there. They're sticking with Pavin for some reason, right? They're staying with those guys. Moreno's obviously hurt,
right?
But they keep putting him out there. Torrey talked about it and goes, he's getting better. Give him a week off and let the guy heal.
Well, just let him DH.
Well, that's the other side of it. But no, we got to have Del Castillo and his 100 batting average and Pavin Smith's batting average there at the DH spot. But then you rush up this guy that was in an 80-game suspension, and you get him through his last game in Reno. He went 0 for 5, obviously struggling a little bit in Reno, and you rush him up here because you need a bat.
Right.
He's batting 0.
Yeah, he's yet to get a hit. Yeah. Yeah, Diamondbacks are they're grasping at straws right now. You're right. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Here's what I argue with Torrey's teams, just really quick to tell you. Here's what I argue. They don't know how to get out of slumps. I've said this for 3 years now, 4 years now? Even the World Series year, that July was so terrible. They don't know how to get out of slumps. I've created this thing of change something. Change the way you drive to the ballpark. Change the M&Ms on the desk. Change the flavor of bubble gum. Change the flavor of Gator. Change something, because they cannot figure out how to get out of slumps. And we're in that situation now. Well, let's get Kepler up here. Well, he's not the answer.
Yeah.
Let's keep running Pavin out there. Let's put our 3 worst hitters in the 4th, 5th, and 6th position and see what can happen there. They're just grasping at things. They don't know how to solve it, Coop.
Well, I'll tell you, the guy that finished 4th in the MVP voting a year ago, he just has not played. I'm talking about Jerry.
He had a clutch hit yesterday.
He did. Yesterday.
But that's my point. But his batting average has come. But they rushed him back from injury.
Look.
You're talking about Perdomo. Perdomo,
Jerry was a guy that could go, force a pitcher to go 14, 15 pitches because he fouled, and he'd either work or walk or he'd get a big hit. I mean, the guy was hitting over 300.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy drove in over 100 runs. And I mean, like this is your shortstop.
They moved him down to 7 in the lineup, and he started hitting.
Yeah.
Second he did that, they moved him back up to 2nd and stopped hitting again. Put him back down to 7th.
Well, he was so valuable a year ago. I mean, he's been a huge disappointment this year because he's not that same guy. And that guy helped the Diamondbacks be the top run-producing team in all of baseball a year ago. Mm-hmm. And so it mattered. And they're just not getting clutch hits at all. I mean,
runners in scoring position.
Dude.
Well, yesterday they were only 2 for 4 yesterday, guys. They were 2 for 4.
Hey, but how many times on this recent slump that they're in have you seen them bases loaded, 1 out, first and third, nobody out, and they don't score.
Second and third, no out, 1 out,
and they don't score.
Yeah, it's pop up, bunt over, pop up, and then a strikeout. Yeah.
And
no, it's absolutely frustrating. And we're talking this way after a win yesterday.
But
if they didn't play the Giants or the Rockies, by the way, they would be like 30 games under 500.
He ain't lying about that.
And you just think about this, that if you score 5-6 runs a game, you're going to mask a little bit of pitching deficiencies. Exactly. But when you're scoring one, and again, I think you could probably run out Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, and you constantly score 1 or 2 runs, you're still going to lose games.
That happened to Randy for a while.
Well, let me tell you something. They were running out Soroka and Rodriguez, and they were getting run. But those guys, I mean, shoot, they could throw up a 0, or maybe they get a run, and you can scratch out that second run you need. But
Rodriguez has been the guy that he's lost 3. He's been no decision. I want to say 4 or 5 times. Because when he left the game, he had the lead, and then they blew it.
It almost happened last night.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy went 7 innings, allowed only 1 run.
Yeah.
And yet, all of a sudden, man, in the 8th and 9th innings, man, you're holding your breath.
That's how you like it, Coop. You want to be biting your nails. You don't want to be going to sleep.
So the big question here, Coop, is last Friday, we're taking Fridays off for the summertime here and everything. And last Friday, I'm driving around, and I have 98.7. I flip over to it because Torrey's going on the air. And Gambo flat out asked him, is Zach Gallen pitches for a job today? And Torrey's response, no. We're talking to him. We know what a valuable pitcher he is, and we're not taking him out of this lineup. Is what he said in no uncertain terms. Then he goes out and has that dud of an outing again on that stuff and everything. Even Gambo was like, "Why? Like, why are you like?" He's talking this way to Torrey, right? And everything. And then you go out there and Merrill Kelly's struggling out there as well. And he's like, "Oh, he's coming back." You got Sirocco who's coming back. His imaging's showing good. He's going to start throwing here.
Not until I see him on the mound at Chase Field.
The argument is no, and you brought this up last week with Trust. No other pitcher is being run out there like Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly is. They would have been sent down, released, whatever. The Diamondbacks have showed that 1,000 times out there.
Yeah.
And they're sticking with these guys to the detriment of them.
Yeah.
These are the things that are going to get this staff fired, right? It's got to be these types of decisions. But is it coming from him or is it coming from Hazen? Is Hazen saying, you're stuck with these guys? Now, Hazen came out yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. He came out and said, in order for us to buy coming up, because before he was like, we're buying.
Yeah.
And now he's saying, in order for us to buy, the team needs to stack several wins together before we can buy. This team's selling, folks. This team's selling. They're going to give up like they did last year again. And we're going to, bring all the young guys up and do that type of a move is what they're going to end up doing. I just have a bad feeling about it. And here's the other side. Throw up the NL wildcard standings real quick here. Here's what they're running into. Now, there's still plenty of baseball left. We're a month before the trade deadline. Trade deadline is August 3rd this year, I believe it is. But here's the problem. You're 500 right now. 500 ain't getting you in the playoffs. They now have other teams ahead of them now. They're in the 5th spot here going down. Now the Reds, Giants, Mets, and Rockies are playing themselves out of this. They're 5 games back here. But you're in essence battling it with 8 teams here to get one of these 3 wild card spots on this stuff. Now, other teams are scuffling as well.
Yeah.
But the Diamondbacks aren't making any ground on anybody with the way they're playing right now. And it's just, and their schedule's not getting easier until they wake up out of this batting thing. I just don't think this coaching staff and this team knows how to get out of slumps.
Well,
Coop, could you get a hit off of Mazeroski?
Brother, I couldn't even get a hit off of Zach Gallen, if we're being honest. Hey, let me tell you something. I'm going to share this with you. Arizona State, they had a media day one year, and the pitcher was Ryan Mills. Ryan Mills would wind up being like the first overall pick in the draft to the Minnesota Twins. Maybe he wasn't first over, but he was like a top 5 pick, and he went to the Minnesota Twins. So they have media getting up to bat against Ryan and stuff like that. So I get up there, and I have the bat in my hand. I'm ready to swing. Dude, I kid you not, I knew the ball had already hit pop in the glove before I swung. I don't know why I swung, but that's how fast it came. I'm like, son of a gun, are you freaking kidding me?
I did this thing one time. I forget what they called it, but retired major league pitchers would go and you go. It was a camp basically for old guys that could pay a lot of money, and I got to do it for free because I was invited and stuff like that. And these were retired pitchers, and they were throwing quarter speed of what they normally throw on the mound. Same thing. All these guys were like softball warriors, like lawyers worth millions of dollars, and they were like, I can hit this. That ball would come in, they'd be swinging, and the ball,
the catcher's already throwing it back to him.
It was amazing to watch. I'm up there. I tried to bunt one time, and I didn't even know the ball was like 3 feet under my back. It was right and lined up, and it's just like it's amazing how these guys do it. And I get it's a tough sport, but these guys get paid a lot of money to solve these problems.
They do. And so they're in a regular situation. I am, but I kid you not. So after that happened, I said, "All right, Ryan, go again. Let's go again." And I'll be damned if it didn't happen again. I'm like, son of a... So I mean, you almost have to swing before he releases the ball.
So you're guessing.
I mean.
Well, for you, because you're not swinging fast enough like a major league guy.
I'm sure. I sure as heck wasn't.
Is there any video of this?
I know. I got to search for that.
Hey, I hope it's burned in the archives.
Hey, the other thing I wanted to say, because you brought up trust last week, and I didn't ever put anything on the trust side of it. Did you see this? This is on dbacks.com here. Quote, he's going to continue to get the ball is what Torrey said, his exact quote.
For Gallen?
No, for Cabrera.
Oh, Cabrera, okay.
And it's all based around, and then Torrey talked about Cabrera's earning his trust out there on the mound. But isn't the problem Like I'm a trusting guy, but at the same time, you let me down enough, and I still trust you, but I'm also going to protect not just you. Torrey always talks about protecting the player. How are you protecting Gallen and Merrill Kelly by throwing them out there and continuing to let them be a couple of the worst pitchers in baseball?
Yeah.
Where's this protection talk of? I take care of my players and I protect them from this and that. And they had a situation that last game in St. Louis was rained out. It would have been easy to say, oh, even if you're lying, hey, Merrill Kelly warmed up yesterday, so we're not going to pitch him tomorrow in Tampa. We're going to put Brandon Pfaadt in that spot because he was there ready to go, but that all screwed it up. You could have easily have stretched it out, right, and not made him look stupid and foolish. But they insist to throw Gallen. Gallen's going to – but this is year 2 of Gallen. This is where frustrating. Yeah. It's not like this is the first – like last year where you're like, okay, Gallen's going to snap out of it. He ain't snapping out of it. This is year 2 of it. And Torrey's just like, keep throwing him out there.
And here's the deal. When the Diamondbacks re-signed Gallen, I said, well, good. We're going to get the absolute best from him because he didn't get what he thought he was going to get in the open market. So he's going to come back and he's going to be the bomb.com. Well, man, I'm eating my words on that one just like I was eating my words on Paul Sewell.
He's like 31 years old or something. Yeah. He should not be, but no strikeouts, in his last outing either. It's just like that was what he did. He struck people out. No strikeouts. We do have to give props to Erod, though. 2.02 ERA after last night.
Erod and Soroka, I mean, the two pitchers I had the least confidence in are their absolute best. They're aces. They're co-aces.
Can we have a World Baseball Classic every year?
I told Dale, I said, lie to him and say there's a World Baseball Classic, so they come in shape and everything. That's the difference. Is Erod came into camp, and I think this goes to what the Diamondbacks do. Is Erod came into camp in shape because of the World Baseball Classic, and normally players don't because Torrey's mentality is we'll ramp you up the first month of the season, and so you'll be rocking and rolling. And I think that changed things for him and Soroka. Pitching for Canada for Soroka. Yeah. So.
And I'm going to switch gears for just a second. Yeah. One more time.
Give it to us.
We
have no rules here, Coop.
I'm not calling I don't want to consider myself a homer. But when I truly expected Landon Hairston to win the Golden Spikes Award in college baseball.
Was that a robbery?
Dude, every stat that they gave, OPS, batting average, slugging percentage. Landon won it. The kid from Georgia, SEC, I don't even know his name. I know he's a catcher. Daniel something or other. I remember that.
He looked miserable winning that award yesterday.
Dude, he only won in the home run and RBI category over Landon, and it wasn't by much. Landon hit 400, dude.
Yeah. Right.
Who hits 400?
Well, and led in home runs. And...
Yeah, he led the Big 12 in home runs and RBI. Now he's already won one prestigious national award, but the Golden Spikes is like the Heisman. Yeah,
it's that SEC bias that happens. Yeah, you play the SEC, we'll just give it to you.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's where I'm going. That's where I was going.
I didn't mean to do that. I jumped on that because I want to get Dale all jumped up.
If the Big 12 became as good as the SEC, then there'd be a Big 12 bias.
Hey, let me tell you something. If I took the teams that are in the Big 12,
it's the networks, Dale.
I took and let me tell you something. Arizona State and Arizona have won 9 collectively, and I look in the SEC and granted, they have. I think they've won the last 5 championships, and yes, LSU has now crept into second place. But that's considering that the SEC stole like the Oklahomas and the Texas.
Yeah, they had still Big 12 teams to get good.
And if you looked at the at the Pac-12, which ASU and U of A were in, and you realize that USC has the most, UCLA, Stanford, Oregon State, the Pac-12 was the baseball supremacy. They were the kings of college baseball. But now that the Pac-12 been thrown in disarray, now there's probably
Coop, the last time ASU made it to the College World Series, you had a full head of hair, you had no gray hair and no belly.
Well,
they just made it 22, 23, something like that.
That's a pretty good point, Dale. But let's put it to you like this: Arizona State still to this day has produced more professional players
Reggie
than
Jackson,
any other
legends.
college.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is nothing. Forget about the steroids. He went to ASU.
So Dale, that doesn't mean that ASU did all this back in the day. No, they have been a consistent team. And look, Mr. Hairston will be the next one.
Yeah.
Probably number one overall.
Yeah, unless they look at him go, I know he played in the Big 12. Do you think Major League Baseball has a Big 12 bias?
No, it's the networks have the bias toward the SEC. SEC has to pop up their teams.
Dale, here's where the bias comes in.
Mm-hmm.
When they have 16 teams and they place 12 in the tournament.
Oh,
Yeah.
Coop.
And
Oklahoma just won the College World Series, and they were 14-16 in the conference and finished 11th.
How
hard is the SEC when your 11th place team can win the College World Series and beat everybody bigger?
That means they're the hardest.
It means they're overrated.
No.
That means. Hey, let me ask you something.
It means they're overrated.
Hey, let me ask you. Where did Oklahoma play just 3 years ago?
Yeah, Big 12.
Okay,
I know. They had to steal the
Yeah,
best.
but all of a sudden they start recruiting better players.
By the way, the second ranked team was Texas, and where they come from. Exactly. So, hey, I missed this just really quick. I didn't see the Suns apparently picked up Bouye's exercise option. I didn't see that last night. They did do that.
That could stay back page.
All right. Well, that's like, what are you doing? Well, they're just trying to fill roster spots now and stay underneath those aprons as well.
Well,
look,
they want someone that they comfortable. In case Gillespie or Green should get hurt, you need Bouye to fill that point guard position. Again, they're throwing familiarity out there.
Also, just so you know, the Lakers are losing LeBron, but they didn't do anything with Bronny James, and his $2.8 million contract is guaranteed for this year now because they didn't do anything for him. So G League Bronny for $2.8 million.
I just don't want the Lakers to re-sign Roy Hachimura. I mean, I want somebody else to sign him because Roy was killing it. I don't want the Lakers to re-sign Marcus Smart nor Luke Kennard. I like it when the Lakers struggle, but the Lakers have now, I guess, about $50 million they can use.
But they got Luka. Their owner is now, Dodgers guy, big money guy. He wants to win. He's going to bend the rules to win, if you want to say that. He's going to do all that Dodger mumbo. He's going to find ways to skirt the system and do things nobody else can do. And that's your problem with the Lakers. Lakers are coming back.
Well, but
Luka wins. Whether you like to say it or not, Luka wins. Scoop.
All right, enough.
Luka Honuts. We have to get rid of our franchises, Dale. Coop, thanks for coming in today.
All right.
Thanks for covering me for a little bit.
Enjoyed it. Hey, can you give me the tip on that World Cup?
Yeah, I told you.
Time?
Yeah. No, I've done. Man, after yesterday, I'm afraid to even look at things on the World Cup and everything.
Wait, your bookie that you left to go talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, can you hook me up with?
Oh yeah. I told you, $10,000 today on England. They'll probably lose it today, knowing them as well. I closed down my thing.
Who do you like to win it all? I mean, because
in the World Cup.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you guys right there. I'm not a big World Cup guy. I don't really follow it now that I don't have to. But I do know that I'm rooting for the North American teams, USA, Canada, and Mexico.
No, neither one of those three have a chance.
And if they get knocked out, then I go to the people I know, like the Lionel Messi's, and my number one guy is Ronaldo with Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal's problem is it's Ronaldo and a bunch of not so talented guys.
Hey, let me tell you something. I don't know a darn thing. I don't know a darn thing about those countries and how good they are. I just know this: that Ronaldo came to State Farm Stadium one day, and when I saw the number of ladies who went crazy, even in wedding dresses, Ronaldo had my respect. I'm like, this man.
You know what's sad? Because I've always talked about Ronaldo and Messi. Messi gets the nod as the best in the world. He probably is. He is. But he's kind of a jerk to everybody. He likes to be standalone, be left alone. Whereas Cristiano Ronaldo, he's just a nice superstar type of a guy. You just tend to like him. He treats people with respect when he probably doesn't have to and stuff like that. So you got to grow that. The problem with, like I said, the problem with his team is it's him and then a bunch of pretty good players. Whereas Messi has some great players around him that he plays with. But the team to look out for, everybody was on Spain before this. France has made the World Cup final the last two World Cups and lost it. and their young players are now mid-20s, like Mbappe and a couple other guys on that team. Watch out for France to go on this run and actually win it this year.
Where is Messi? Where's this team?
Argentina.
Playing? I know. What country are they're playing in?
Oh,
right
coming up here, I closed out my.
Because see, I saw something on social media where he came out of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Messi and man, you would have thought it was a New York Knicks parade.
Oh no, Messi gets. That's the problem. He's got private security and you can't get near him. Some people will get how people run under the field. Yeah. There's a ton of videos of people running on the field and Messi like shoving him away and like being rude to him. And whereas Ronaldo will actually like grab him and take selfies with him and tell security to back off for a second. Oh, really? And then security will take him off.
Wherever he was, I mean,
I don't know where they played.
He came out of a restaurant.
Yeah,
and it was like, dude, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it's he's though world's best, man. They take that. Coop, this sport. South Korea disappointed they didn't make the elimination round. So before they leave the United States, their manager quits because he's like, "We were such a disappointment. I quit." I think
South Korea.
And
are they supposed to be
yeah, they were supposed to make the. Okay. And then they fly their plane back home, get home, and they purposely landed at like 4 a.m. with the hopes that nobody will notice they landed. And everybody in the whole country is sitting there at the airport hurling insults at them because they were so disappointing in this tournament and stuff. Could you imagine? That doesn't happen here where coaches quit because their teams are bad and fans are yelling and meeting up at the airport all disappointed with them. Uruguay canceled their private jets, making the team fly back commercial.
What?
Yeah, because they disappointed and didn't make it to the next round.
This is next level stuff. Let me tell you something.
It's a different sport.
Dale asked me if I ever had a penalty kick. I'm like, Dale. Dude, I played America's sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't play in World Cup. I played soccer. Yeah. I played America's sport. That was football.
Soccer is my favorite sport, but I don't follow it like I don't get up at 3 a.m.
It's your favorite sport.
I love soccer.
Oh, dude.
Hockey and soccer.
Steve, we can cancel this show. Steve,
we're way over time.
Catch France and Sweden today at 2 p.m. Coop, you will not be disappointed watching France.
They will not. My eyes will not get 1 second of that
today.
Viewership.
Oh, you'd rather watch the Diamondbacks tonight? Well, Brandon Pfaadt's on the mound. That might be a fun start here. Now, if Brandon Pfaadt can just stop those crooked innings where he falls apart for one inning, he'll do all right tonight as well. The other thing is watch Mexico-Ecuador. Did you see this? No. Ecuador's playing in Mexico City tonight against Mexico.
Home game.
The Mexican fans last night were outside the Ecuador hotel, honking their horn, playing drums all night long. And the police were there, and people are like, "Oh, the police are going to break." The police were joining in with them to make noise.
Oh man!
So Ecuador probably got 0 sleep last night.
Jeez.
Oh, my, it's a different sport for these reasons, man. It's going to be great. So, Coop, appreciate you coming in, helping me out. Dale's in overtime. He's mad, even though he had like the last week and a half off.
I mean, overtime to talk soccer.
He had the last week and a half off, and he gets another 4 days here after tomorrow. And the guy's complaining 15 minutes late, Coop. Hey, everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Come and join us.